that, brother.
Give thanks. Give thanks. So Milo, once that's identified, say like, I identified that through therapy that I was love avoidance was one of the things that I was dealing with, right? Um, and love addiction, love
Mm.
addiction. That was a crazy combination, to be honest, brother. Like, because you want to be at that, you like that feeling of love and being close to somebody, but then when it gets too close, you're like, oh no, 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 and um, when you identify that, what methods do you see for someone, like like myself? I mean, I know I've had different practices that I've been doing, and one of them, just to be honest, was actually, it's almost like, it's called like being conscious of where you are and um taking note of what's happening, like in a situation. Like I might be in a conversation with somebody, and I have to identify if this is, are my feelings because of something in the past, or are they
Mm.
really of what's happening now? And it's really just being conscious of that and being aware of that has been a great resource for me. But is there any other things in that form of that can help?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I think it's a combination of that consciousness and that awareness, but also being able to actually still ourselves so that we can listen to our inner child. So being able to feel like when our inner child struggles to be heard, we silence our mind and speak from our heart to let love have the last word. And that was just some rhymes right there. You know where I get that, where I get that
Man,
from.
pow, pow,
Pow
pow,
pow,
pow.
man. But look, but the reality is that like a lot of times what I'll hear from clients and from friends is that it's like we're distancing ourselves from who we used to be, or we're like that I'm not that same dude anymore, I'm not that same woman anymore. And so this isn't really about that. What this is about, and raising that consciousness and awareness, it's healing our childhood expectations of who we would become, right? So we're healing our expectations of who we thought we were going to be, almost like a sense of grieving who we thought we were going to grow up to. And so when we have that awareness, it's about asking ourselves, again, being still to say, what am I responding to here? Why am I feeling anxious? Why am I avoiding this person? Man, my partner just said like how much they love me, but here I go running away, right?
Yeah,
And then similarly, what you mentioned, like, man, I'm loving and I'm trying to love everywhere and everyone and trying to be around. So that's almost another attachment style called fearful avoidant. So it's a combination of anxious attachment and avoidant attachment when it's like we really, really want that attention and we really, really want that love, but we still avoid it at all costs. So
yeah.
we keep it surface level and we don't really go deep. So to answer your question, it's about being still and reflecting on what am I responding to? What old patterns or themes in my life am I responding to?
Yeah.
And then being able to actually make a choice and choose our adventure to get back on the right path.
Right, right. But what about, like, when we talk about the inner child? How does someone know that inner child is actually has been damaged? Like, how do you really? Because if I didn't have access to therapy, and look, I love that it's two black men on here
Mm,
talking about therapy. I mean, for everybody, it's for everybody. But I'm saying I'm very inspired that we do have to, like, this is something that we usually wouldn't talk about, and wasn't part of our culture, and like, it just wasn't us, and now
yeah.
it's us, man, and we talking about it. But how does one identify, that inner child is like pained, and is damaged?
Well, I think just to keep it real, I don't think it's a matter of if, but how.
Right.
Because if we think about it as kids, we rely so much on everyone around us to give us our needs, from safety to our basic essential needs. And so it's not as much about if, but how we've been injured and how we want to heal. So sometimes it's helpful to get feedback from friends and loved ones. Sometimes it's helpful to think of, are the efforts matching the output, right? So
Yeah.
like, am I actually, I say I'm loving my partner, I say that I'm committed, but are my actions actually aligned with what I'm saying? Like, basically, am I walking what I'm talking,
Right.
right? And so if we listen, and I'm sure as you mentioned here, like people will tell you, like if your inner child is acting up, like people will be like, bro, like that inner child, like he needs to go sit in the corner real quick. And then like how do we help him or how do we help them heal?
Yeah.
And to your other point, man, I'm gonna be honest. Me going to therapy as a psychologist with like a million years of degrees and education and training, I became a better psychologist because I went to therapy.
Wow.
And so I think the stigma really stems from our misconception of what strength is. So
Mm.
again, we're trying to protect the inner child, right? Like we got to be strong. So if we can read